Medigroup Physician Services presents Medigroup's Frank's Fast Five with Healthcare Executives, produced by Bridget Wilson and Carrie Peters. Today's guest is Amy Cochran, Senior Sales Executive for Share Moving Media. Now, here's your host, Medigroup's Frank Gillespie.
Welcome once again to another edition of Medigroup's Frank's Fast Five with Healthcare Executives. Today, we are sharing in some Q&A with Amy Cochran, Senior Sales Executive for Share Moving Media. Amy, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We're so glad you could do it, and it's an honor to have you on. So thank you very, very much. Yeah. I promised you I wouldn't waste your time. I'll jump right into the question.
Okay.
So the first question, how long have you been with Share Moving Media?
Well, I started literally right before this whole pandemic hit. So I was recruited in around September of 2019. My first day on the job was actually at HIDA in 2019. So I'm coming up on my second year anniversary.
That is fantastic. And all the things that have transpired since your employment there. I mean, I bet it's been a whirlwind.
Right? It's been a whirlwind. You know, it's so crazy to think I haven't met probably 80% of the people I work with. Okay. And I think, I've been in publishing and in media for a really long time, and it truly is that kind of, old school relationship driven industry. We still get to go out. We have a lot of fun. We get to take clients out. So a lot of our business is really done in person. That's the way I learned. That's the way I've done things for the last 8-9 years. So it's so bizarre to literally just still connect with people via Zoom. I miss that.
Exactly. We do too. I think I mentioned to you when we did our pre-call that I haven't been in the office since the last time I was in the office was December 18th of 2019. So everything's been remote or via Zoom for us as well. So, and I'm thinking too, you're probably learning your job in a different way as the pandemic begins to slowly subside, things go back a little bit more to normal. You're probably learning different things of the way they used to do it that are still things that they want to do today, but couldn't do during the pandemic.
Yeah. I think, when you're in a sales role, and especially in my background, the way I learned and kind of like, came up through the ropes, so to speak, was you always had to get in front of people. In fact, it was a requirement for me to see 20 customers a month in person. Sure. I think a lot of industries are like that, especially in the medical world as well. So we really had to pivot and we had to shift, and I think become inside sales reps, pacing around our kitchen, which I think a lot of companies have done a really good job at doing. Sure. At the same time, I think we're still, like you said, we're craving getting back out there, I think, in front of people.
Absolutely. Totally understood. And I better keep things moving here. It won't be Frank's Fast Five. So
go ahead, because I can talk a lot.
I love it. Go ahead. No problem at all. Amy, second question, and we've touched on it, I think, a little bit in our conversation in the first question, but if there's anything more specific, what does your role of senior sales executive entail for Share Moving Media?
I think the first thing that it entails is listening. So us salesy folks, we like to talk, right? We forget we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So again, something I learned, I think, very early on is to take a lot of time with people to really ask a lot of questions, figure out what their needs are, what their objectives are, what their goals are before I start to actually offer educated solutions. And of course, a brief background of like what we do. Share Moving Media is my parent company, but the publication that I really work with the most is called Repertoire. It's been around for 25 years. It's really the only print media publication focused on the distribution space, specifically trying to educate the distribution rep. So we really work with clients to help gain mind share and market share within the distribution community, and then really help them gain revenue as well.
It's a fantastic publication. I've read it for the last 25 years myself. Actually was interviewed a couple times years ago. So
were you?
Yes, it's a great and very informative publication. And I think in your business, as you've touched on, just like real estate is location, location, location,
right?
In sales is listen, listen, listen. So you make a great point. That's excellent. Okay, on to question number 3. I noticed that Spanish was something you studied in your LinkedIn profile. Hola. So do you use this skill in your everyday role at Share Moving Media?
No, I do not. I don't. but it's funny how it comes up, right? So I actually went all the way and studied Latin American economics and politics, and also have a bachelor's degree in Spanish. I use it on occasion. The other day, there was a couple that was lost in the Dallas airport. And so I was able to have a conversation with them and actually walk them to their gate. So it's cool. Funny when people, it is, it's always helped in my travel. I love to travel. So I use it extensively there, but not really that much in work. No.
I hear you. I've always wanted to be that person in the elevator when other guests on the elevator were speaking or talking and maybe laughing at my hair or something like that. But I have no idea what they're saying. I just love once to be able to respond back if that were the case nicely. I wouldn't do it ugly, but just to surprise them.
Yes.
So anyway, great point. Thank you so much for that. So question number 4, did the COVID pandemic slow your business, or did you experience an increase in business as organizations look for ways to get their healthcare messages out in a different manner?
In the beginning, I think there was definitely, we were all in that very unknown space, right?
Sure.
We didn't know what was coming at all. And I think we tried to, as an organization, prepare for the possible worst. So we kind of ran, shall we say, lean and mean. We did not have any clients drastically pull back or cancel their entire program for 2022 or 2020. So that was a positive, right?
Yes.
But then going into planning for 2021, from my perspective, I said, we're either going to be high-fiving at Christmas or it was really lovely to know you. Good luck in your future endeavors. I literally had no idea. 2021 has been probably the best year from the publication standpoint that I think we've had as an organization. It tops 2019 numbers. So that is a really positive thing. And I think it makes sense as to why. Trade show floors are still empty, right? We've maybe had a couple of events, but when you have McKesson and Shine and other very large organizations cancel their national sales meetings, how do you get in front of distribution reps, right? As a manufacturer, how do you distribution reps have so much on their plate, right? So how do you get them to focus on you and at least get a little slice of that business? And I think the only way to do it is reach and consistency. So you have to be constantly in front of them, sharing your message in a multitude of ways, including through, brand awareness with print advertising, but also, doing clever things like videos and content and educating them, but constantly reaching out to them, I think, in order to, to help gain market share. So it's been a great year for us. And, with the things that are going on right now with the Delta variant, and I just noticed that HIDA is going back to a full virtual event. I think we're going to continue to see that trend.
Yeah, I already had a meeting that was scheduled at the end of September, different than HIDA, and it just went back to virtual. So we'll see what happens. It's a little frightening. And now they're talking about perhaps a third or a booster shot for those that had the Pfizer or the Moderna. So we'll see how that goes as well. So, well, we've made it to the last question. You
are fast.
Yeah. You've been fantastic and a lot of fun. No kidding. But last question, what's your favorite part about working for Share Moving Media?
It's funny. I wrote these down, but it's people. I don't know if you can tell I'm kind of a people person.
No question.
I love working with people. I love being out in the field. I love, even having random conversations with people at the airport, but I love helping people too. So it's nice to be able to utilize years and years, of industry, I think, experience to help people come up with solutions that I know will work for them. I know these solutions will help them meet their objectives. I know they will help them gain market share. So that makes me feel really good. And the other, sticking with people, it's my team, the team that I get to work with. I know that my clients are in really good hands. We have a team of editors and of course staff that, make sure that everything, gets done and goes off without a hitch, so to speak.
Absolutely. Great answer. And it sounds like our two companies are aligned in the sense that great people to work with, working hard to get the message out to our members and to your readers and in your case. So, and working with nice people and good people makes all the difference in the world. So I'm glad to hear that you've got that same clientele and same background as well. That's fantastic. Well, Amy, I told you we'd get right through it. And I hope, yeah. So I really, again, appreciate it. Thank you very, very much. It's an honor
Thank you. Thank you. I was honestly humbled to be asked. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're more than welcome. And I hope our paths cross when the world becomes a safer place to walk around, and hopefully sometime soon.
All right.
This has been MediGroup's Frank's Fast Five with Healthcare Executives, produced by Bridget Wilson and Carrie Peters and hosted by Frank Gillespie. Special thanks to Amy Cochran, Senior Sales Executive for Share Moving Media.